Sword and Fairy N2 is EastAsiaSoft's newest release onto the Nintendo Switch, and a direct sequel to the original 2001 release. This being considered a spin-off as well, many franchise veterans will be able to see a return of some popular characters and some story beats that might actually grab you. However, let me say this up front, this is a management sim first and foremost. There is something of a story trying to tie everything together, but honestly it's not really well told. You're sent back in time to change the past by helping run the inn of a family member, and that's pretty much all the game gives you early on. After several hours of gameplay, it begins to drop a little bit more hints. The game is more inclined on the gameplay day-to-day minutiae of things than really trying to tell an overarching story, which is honestly expected. The gameplay loop revolves around not only running the inn, which you can control just one room to start with as more rooms are added as you amass a fortune, but also the restaurant side of things, which means creating a daily menu, gathering supplies and ingredients, maintaining a farm, and much more. Thankfully, you do have plenty of leeway to kind of mess things up and learn from your mistakes, but it can be a bit repetitive as you might imagine. To support you in your daily ordeal, you have characters assigned for many different tasks, whether it is trading for far away and rare ingredients, raising some crops, gathering materials, farming some vegetables or fruits, or even hunting. These support characters can be powered up along the way as they can be specialized on one main task which give you a bit of an edge. Then there's the main character which you control, which has their very own stats, as well as things like becoming a better cook, raising better crops, and things of that nature. There is a small, almost chore-like grind to raise your stats, which can become a little bit noticeable and is not necessarily feel well thought out. It just feels very repetitive and it doesn't really feel fun. This leads to the complete lack of guide that the basic game has. One day you may have one type of food that you guys might want, but there's no specific way to cook it if you haven't already figured out the recipe or how to learn to be able to make it. The game lacks simple guiding factors and tutorials that would help you to keep you on track for all things thrown your way. That's not to say that it can't be confusing, but then again, there's tons of trial and error until you figure everything out. Visually, the game is okay on the Nintendo Switch and is not much of a standout, although performance for the most part holds up even in the most hectic moments. I played exclusively onto the Nintendo Switch Lite and the text could have been slightly bigger, but that's just a nitpick. I would like to thank EastAsiaSoft for providing me all the footage you're seeing here today. Sword and Fairy N2 is a bit of a mixed bag for old fans of the franchise that tried to tie back to the original release, while adding so many new cooked up ideas since the original's game launch all these many years ago. The lack of guidance and polish also shows, especially if you're willing to invest some time in it. There is something really there rewarding for a few crowd of hungry players, but there's not much to say there. Nintendo Sphere gives Sword and Fairy N2 on the Nintendo Switch a 6 out of 10. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya!